Greetings, beautiful souls. I have a fantastic guest for you, Valerie Campbell, and she is a relationship coach, and I know you are going to be so excited and love what she's all about. Valerie, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh my God.
Thank you so much for having me on the show with me.
Valerie, I'm so excited, so honoured to have you on, and I love what you do. What I'd like you to do before we get started with the questions, I have all these questions for you. So I just want you to just share a little bit about your background, into coming into doing what you do now as a relationship coach. Just anything that you feel is relevant for the listening audience to hear. So over to you.
Okay. So I call myself an enhanced relationship coach. And the reason for that is I believe that, as you know, I'm a Christian, but what I teach doesn't apply to specifically Christians.
Yes.
Yeah. And so it's based on the Bible verse, love your neighbour as you would love yourself. So it's very much about helping women to get in contact and connected with their authentic self. And then from that place, you then attract authentic love. How did I get into this?
Yes.
Well, many years ago, I attracted a job working with 20 men. I was the only female.
Oh, God.
And I worked with them for over 10 years. And so in that that space, I not only acted as their manager, I was also their confidant and vice versa. And when I would have my problems, I would, ask them questions and they would school me, so to speak. But also, it was a place where, and I didn't term it at the time as feminine energy, but I had two male colleagues in the office. And so we'd send out men on the road because I worked in environmental services. And somehow I could influence them to do jobs that my male counterpart didn't do, because I would in a feminine way, and of course masculine energy responds to feminine energy. So at that time I would just give advice to my girlfriends, or if they had any problems I would bring it to my boys, as I fondly call them. They would give me advice and I would pass it on. And then eventually I ended up actually writing a book called She's Got That Vibe, which is available on Amazon. And then I then went into coaching, and that is what I do now. And of course, I've got the radio show. It's called The Secret Vibe. The Secret Vibe is a term that I use for, you've got these women who somehow they just seem to attract effortlessly like great men, or they treat them in a high quality way. Call that vibe the secret vibe, because sometimes you're like, well, how come she can do that and I can't? And I break that down in a formula which I call the Vibes formula, which is an acronym for vision, intention, belief and expectation, because those are the attributes that require change in order to attract a man who's going to treat you in a high quality way.
Thank you for that. I'm really excited because you are going to be talking about two of my favourite topics and merging them together: law of attraction and relationship. It's one of those topics that you just can't get enough of, and there's always so much, and I love the fact that you combine them together. But before I ask you the questions about relationships specifically, can you just explain to people what is the law of attraction and how it is used in relationship to attract the right partner? Because some people might not have heard of it, but so before we go ahead,
Well, the law of attraction, there are many laws that govern this universe. And the law of attraction is one of them, just like we have the law of gravity. We know what that is. That's what makes us stand firm on this planet. You've got the law of light, which we know that the Wright brothers used to create the first plane to lift off the sky. And then there's the law of attraction, law of vibration. And really the law of attraction states that like energy attracts like energy. Yes, so what that actually means is that we think, okay, we all have thoughts, and what we think about determines how we feel. And how we feel is actually projected out to the atmosphere as a vibration, because our thoughts are on different frequencies. And that then attracts in frequencies that are on the same vibrations, that are on the same frequency. So, for example, you've heard of terminology like misery loves company. Yeah. Okay. Or you may walk into a room and with an act, because energy is something that can be felt. So when we say that like energy attracts like energy, it means whatever energy you project, you will attract more of that energy. Basically, the universe says, oh, is that how you want to feel? I'm going to give you more reason to feel that way. And so we'll therefore create around you circumstances or experiences for you to feel more of what you're projecting. It's non-judgmental, and the universe acts like a giant photocopying machine. Yes. So that's the law of attraction in a nutshell. Now, in terms of a relationship or dating, for example, if a woman she finds that she's attracting the same type of man, but just wrapped up in different skin. In other words, she's experiencing the same type of result. Ultimately, she's the common denominator of all her relationships. And of course, this applies to men. And so therefore, we have to look at, well, what energy are you projecting, which is based on what you're thinking, which is based on how you feel about yourself. Because you can never attract more than how you feel about yourself. So it's about looking at yourself and thinking, what beliefs do I have? What beliefs have I taken on board through my childhood that's making me unconsciously project this energy and attracting in these type of, partners.
Yeah, so it's about understanding that you're the controller, you are the common denominator. So what's going on in your life? You look at you go to the core first and see, what can you do? Exactly.
It's actually no different from, if you're unwell, you go to the doctors, and the doctor will say, well, what symptoms are you experiencing? Tell me. And then in order to make you well, the doctor will then go to the cause, you see, that cause and effect. So it's easy to understand it in that, from that perspective. But in a relationship, we tend to say, oh, person's fault, they're doing that to me, rather than actually recognizing, well, actually, no, that's a symptom of you. It's about an effect.
Wow. Yeah, I totally love that. I totally agree. What I want to do now is ask you some questions that's going to make people see how it all works in effect, how the law of attraction. So, what is a high value woman? Because I think that's such a important question to start with. So over to you, Valerie.
Well, I term a high value woman as that one who knows who she is, she knows what she wants, and she protects what she wants by actually her boundaries. And she really leans into her feminine energy and allows the man to pursue her, because then he's in his masculine energy. So therefore, he feels great pursuing her because she allows him to feel more like a man. And in the same tone, she's in her feminine energy. There's a great video that I've got at thesecretvibe.com. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yes, I think I watched it. Yeah, but carry on. Yeah.
But when a woman is perceived as allowing a man to feel great in her, in his eyes, she's perceived as high value, you see.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
because it's bringing the best. It's making him feel like, like as you say, and
she brings out the king in him. He has to step up to her. Yeah.
So find your queendom or your goddess self and bring that to the bring that energy when you're around the man that you like or desire or who you're with.
Also as well, when a man has to pursue a woman, when she allows space to pursue her, it's then that he can actually feel her worth. If a woman is easy to get, then he's not able to feel her worth. You see?
Yeah, the bond, it's and it gives time for him to bond, because women, it takes men a bit longer, doesn't it, to fall in love than a woman. So giving that time.
That space, that time allows the man to form an emotional connection with her. But you see, what a lot of women do, if they sleep with a guy really easily, that emotional connection isn't formed, and so therefore it's then easy for him to just walk away. We have terms like ghosting these days. That's why. That's true. I've not invested myself in you. You're not giving me the time to invest myself in you. So therefore, why would I then value you? You see.
Yeah, definitely. It's and again, it goes back to realizing that you are a high value woman and knowing that. I totally agree with that. What I want to ask you, Valerie, how can a modern woman connect with her femininity? And why is it a must for her if she wishes to succeed in love today? Because, a lot of women are not very happy.
Yeah, a lot of women aren't happy with what they're attracting. And in the modern day, what you have to understand is that we're living in an economy which is a high sex economy, and what with women's rights, which is fantastic, the fight for equality, etc., it's almost deemed as if to diminish the differences between the masculine and feminine is a good thing. But it actually hinders a relationship. So what you're finding is that a lot of modern women are actually living in their masculine energy. They're afraid, in a sense, to live in their feminine energy because they see it as a weakness. But it's actually not a weakness. Just like I described when I worked in environmental services, you can use your feminine energy to your advantage.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. And again, like the modern woman in society, we're told, we can just have sex just as much as men. But we are different, you see. And the same way, like, for example, if you have sex with a man early, like I just said, the man is not going to value you, he's going to move on next. So the women that are kind of like holding out, we can just easily go to someone else. The most attractive word to a man is no.
Say that again, Valerie, please say that.
It is. The most attractive word to a man is no. It's like it's
coming towards you. It's seriously, it's very, very true.
Yeah, it's one of those things where a man wants to get you into bed, but at the same time he doesn't want you. He doesn't want you to
it's earning. Men are very much about, even if you look at the way they work, they love to earn, whatever it is they achieve.
Yes. Absolutely.
I love that what you said. That's the best, a man likes the word no, because a lot of women I don't think realise that, Valerie. So I think that's really important that you put it in that way. So just like that. Go ahead.
How you want to feel in a relationship, and you take the time to find out why, then it's easy to say no, because you're not kind of reducing yourself to match a man's standards that is kind of like coming across to you as lower than yours, you see. You see, it's about knowing what you want, and look, these are my standards, and this is how high the man has to climb in order to achieve. So just in the climbing of it, if you have, just use an image. Imagine you're at the top of the steps and the man's at the bottom of the steps. You don't want, as a woman, to walk down to his level of standards. You want to make him climb the steps to your level of standard. Yes. And as he's climbing, that's when he feels great. He feels like, wow, like I said, she's bringing
something.
In me. Exactly, I've achieved something. I've claimed the prize. And I often say as well, that we can learn so much from biology. Eggs don't chase sperm. Sperm chases the egg. And even when you think about, within that environment, you have multiple sperm that's chasing the egg. And the masculine energy is competitive. It's about taking up challenges. It's about wanting to win. It's about wanting things to happen, make things happen, claiming the prize. And so it's the sperm. It's that strikes the mark, as if you want to put it that way. It's survival of the fittest. You see. So women, we can date multiple men. That's completely fine. I mean, that's as old as time. You look at the black and white movies. So back in the didn't they? When they're in the dance, they would have a list of admirers that said they want a dance, and they would, they would have their different dances with different men, and they would be flocked because they're standing, in their energy. This is my standards. This is how I want to feel, and then they get to choose. The man chooses them first, yes, because of that emotional connection. And then if they feel like, yes, I feel the same way, then they allow him into her world. And I always say as well, it's very, very important to allow a man to choose you before you choose him. And sometimes we don't quite understand what I mean by that. Like, for example, again, talking about the modern woman, she'll just think, okay, I like that guy, I'm going to step to him, which again is masculine energy, and try and make things happen. Whereas if you just stand back and allow the man to choose you, then you've got no doubt in your mind, you've been chosen. Women need to feel chosen by the person that they're going to fall in love with.
Yes.
Now, when that emotional bond is formed, now you can say, okay, I choose you because of the way that you've treated me and how I feel in your presence.
Yes. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I would also say that I think, what you're saying about women, because of obviously women's liberation, I think women feel, I can go out there and choose the man that I want. But I think what I hear you saying is, obviously it doesn't mean, going with a man that you probably are not attracted to, you don't like, but make sure that it's a man that already likes you a lot before you say yes, because nothing happens until the woman says yes anyway, so you are the actual chooser. So I just wanted to kind of just add to what you said about, love that, what you're saying. You mentioned about really reasons to, sex and, in relationship. What would you say about reasons to not have sex outside of marriage? Why might that be? Because for the modern woman, she feels, well, I want to be, I want to have my freedom and my what have you. Why would you say it's best to kind of leave it after marriage? What would you say to that?
Because in that sense, you're allowing the man to prove himself to you, and this is for a woman who wants marriage.
Yes.
Some women are not at the stage in their life where that is what they want, but for a woman who's looking for that, she wants to give that man time to pursue her, to become emotionally connected with her, and in truly choosing a woman, you're going to ask, the man's going to ask for her hand in marriage, you see? So if that is what she truly wants, then it's always best for her to hold out for that.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think sometimes women feel, oh, I might lose him or what have you, but it's like what you said earlier on, men like the word no. So don't worry, ladies, you always come back.
Exactly. I'm sure you've heard the expression that don't give away the milk for free, because why would you buy the ice cream cart when he's getting the milk for free, right?
Point,
Yeah, don't buy that ring and put it on your finger.
And like you said, it's for women who are looking for marriage. If you are looking for marriage, this is absolutely the best way to go. Okay.
And also involved, we talk about the law of attraction, but I just want to speak a little bit, if you don't mind. It's on the law of sexual polarity. Speaking a lot about that recently, and the law of sexual polarity, again, like how I described the law of attraction, like energy attracts like energy. It's literally just a derivative of the law of attraction. So if you're a woman that sits primarily in your feminine energy, okay? So as individuals, we both have masculine and feminine energy within us. And it's not gender specific. It's just an energy that we have. And generally the balance is 80-20. So if you're a woman, you would usually have 80% feminine and 20% masculine. So if you're sitting in your feminine energy, because universe says, okay, is that how you want to feel? Because you're projecting feminine energy. I'm going to give you more reason to feel that way. And so therefore, I'm going to send you a masculine man to feel more that way, you see? For a masculine man, he wants to feel more masculine. So therefore, universe sends him a feminine woman so that he can fall in his masculinity, you see? And it's important for us to understand how the law of sexual polarity works, because a lot of my clients, or the modern woman, if I'll throw that in, they're very much in their doing energy. Masculine energy is about doing, yes, it's about making things happen. It's about getting those deadlines done at work. It's about achieving targets. And what they don't realize is that they're attracting, they said to me, Valerie, I want to attract, I'm craving for a masculine man, but attracting feminine men. And what they don't realize is that, okay, you're actually in your masculine energy, but in a romantic situation, you have to learn to lean into your femininity. So that's a masculine, you see. And in the law of sexual polarity, basically causes a tension, almost like a passion, a chemistry between the two when you've got that good balance that's going on. We have situations where two masculine energies can meet together. You hear the phrase again, you can't have two people wearing the same
two captains.
Yeah, exactly. You can't have two captains off a ship. And, if we, again, use, say, a magnet as an analogy, you put the positive and the positive together, and what do? They repel, you see. But when you turn it around, you've got the positive and the negative, so masculine, femininity, you put them together and they snap together. Yeah. So when you create that tension with the man pursuing the woman, and she's kind of holding her own and she's keeping her distance a little bit, and he's pursuing, when you've got the positive and the negative magnet, they're screaming to get together, because there's just this attraction. They want to come together, and then they kind of like come together. It's the same tension that is created in a relationship. So if you understand how the law of sexual polarity works, then you can do that more in a conscious way and understand the importance of, I want a masculine man, so therefore I need to lean to my femininity, because I'm actually creating polarity here, and that's what creates passion in the relationship.
Yeah, I love that. This is not on my quick, but I just want to quickly just ask you, so like we were saying, we hear so much that the modern woman is much more in a masculine energy. What can she do when she's got a high-powered job, or she's got lots of responsibility and she's used to using that part? How can she tone it down in the relationship?
Yeah, she has to do the opposite. You see, feminine energy is it's more passive energy. It's mysterious, it's deep, it's very much it's nurturing, it's receiving energy. So it shows up in little things. So say for example, say you're in a car. You're in the car with your date, or the person that you're seeing. And, sometimes you're tempted to kind of say, like, if the man gets lost, why don't you just get someone to ask you for some directions? You want to take control. Or why don't we just turn left here or turn right? You see, when you're doing that, you're in your masculine energy, you see. And the man next to you will get irritated, especially if he's a masculine man. So you have to just lean back and just receive, you see. So that would be an example. Masculine feminine energy is so different. It's like, for example, if you go into the supermarket, as women, feminine women, we might not be able to find something, so we might tap somebody and say, excuse me, where the soap powder is. Whereas you're going to find a man that would do that. It's like, why would I go to another person to find out where the soap powder is? Because men love challenges, you see. So they would rather walk from aisle to aisle to aisle until they find the soap powder, you see. So men don't like it when, masculine men don't like it when a woman tries to tell them actually how to be a man. Yeah.
Good. Oh, wow. Thanks for answering that. But also, what I want to ask you is, how and why do we need to set boundaries in relationships?
How and why? Because it's really important for you to know and be clear how you want to feel in a relationship. So when you actually go out dating, you're actually contrasting these different men that you're dating with how you want to feel. So your boundaries allow you to stay intact. So like, for example, when I was in my younger days, I used to do ice skating. And, you have the boundary that goes all the way round. Now, the boundary is there to basically not let anybody, unless the right criteria, they're dressed well, they're dressed appropriately, the shoes, etc., etc. They're qualified to enter into the ice rink, you see. If they don't have the right criteria, then they stay out. So just again, I like to use analogies. So if I'm on the actual ice rink and this is my playground, I want to protect the integrity of the playground and how I want to play in my zone, so to speak. So that's why boundaries are really important, because they protect how you want to feel. If you don't have boundaries, then you can end up going anywhere. And what a lot of women do is they're actually, when they break their own boundaries, then they don't get to feel how they want to feel in a relationship. Sometimes as women, because this is a constant battle with ourselves. We always have to kind of, negotiate, whether I move this a little bit out or a little bit in. Like, take something simple, like you've got a boundary that perhaps you don't want a man or a date to call you after 10 o'clock at night, because after 10 o'clock you're going to bed, that's your time, etc. You meet this guy, you really like him, you think, oh, he's fantastic. And men like to test women. He thinks, okay, she said that I shouldn't call after 10. I'm going to call her at 10:05, And then, you take the call, and now you've actually become complicit in breaking your own boundary.
Yes.
So then what message is that sending out to the man? Okay, it's like, okay, I've been able to make her break one of her boundaries. what other boundaries can I break?
Yes, and then it just goes on, and before you know it, there's all these broken boundaries, and you're in a pattern.
Yeah, you've lost yourself. You're a mess.
Yeah. Wow. So that is very important, isn't it, Valerie?
Very important. Yeah, because then you've let go of your own standards, and you've basically abandoned yourself because you're now succumbing to someone else's standards. You know.
And from, like you say, once they get away with one, and then two, and then you have no say. You now,
Like an unraveling, isn't it? It's like, well, you did that before. Why wouldn't you allow me to do that again?
It's a little bit like with children, isn't it? You're not. If you're not firm enough, they will just run rings all around you. Whereas,
I
love that. Wow. What should a single woman do while she waits for her king?
She should fill her cup.
I love that.
Yeah, because feminine energy is all about radiance. It's about beauty. It's about really just taking that time to discover who you are. What are your talents? What are your gifts? What are your skills? What do you like doing? Is it yoga? Is it going to the gym? Is it singing? Just taking time to just fill your cup up. And that is what attracts a man. It's like, wow, this woman is shining. Like she's, that's what draws him. So while she's waiting, that's exactly what she should be doing.
Yes, I love that. Fill your cup, because then when you're full, you're going to be seen. It's like, as if you're running on empty.
You're going to get so brightly because you're so happy with what you're doing. And you're seeing people out there that are just full and raging, they're just happy and they're glowing. You can feel that energy, can't you? That beacon, it's like a beacon of light.
Now, Valerie, any quick tips to quickly weed out the wrong type of partner or becoming too invested?
Well, I don't actually believe that there's such a thing as Mr. Right and Mr. Wrong. I believe that there is, energetically speaking, you always attract your perfect match.
Yes.
Because, like I said, you can never attract more than how you feel about yourself. So the same way that I can say, this guy is wrong for me, another woman can say that this is right for her. You see, because what energy she's projecting, she's calling that energy out of that man. So if I want to use the word wrong in the way that the world uses it, if you're attracting basically a man that you're not happy with, or a woman that you're not happy with, again, it goes back to what I said. You can never attract more than how you feel about yourself. Check yourself. Yeah? Okay, if you're seeing red flags in this person, in other words, it's not a match to how you want to feel about yourself, then go back and check yourself. Why have I let this person into my life? What is it about me that I need to change to disallow this? Am I allowing this person to actually break boundaries? So I'm at pause, you see.
Yeah, I love that. And as you just said, and I wanted to add, when someone does that check-in, can they actually, if they change, if they say, oh my God, I've attracted this person and I realise that there's something in me that's attractive. If they change that thing, do you believe that they could, that person will change accordingly because of the way they're vibrating?
That person could definitely change, or also as well, because you can't create another person's reality. So as well, that person could actually just fall out of your life because you're not vibrating at the same frequency. You see,
yeah.
So therefore, you're not aligned.
And people shouldn't be scared for that. People shouldn't be scared, because if you think down the road, a terrible relationship is, you know, you don't want to be in there. So you can see it as a, you know, thank God, you know?
Yeah, exactly. it's
lucky escape.
Everything is you ultimately. It's you and your perspective. You know, like if I gave you imaginary glasses with pens in it, when you look through, everything's tinted pink, isn't it? You know, through a blue set of lens, everything's tinted blue. So what you observe is based on the filter that you have, which is based on the beliefs that you have about dating or relationships. So if you don't like what you're seeing, you have to change the lens.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Oh God, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily a lucky escape from that person. It's a lucky escape for you, in the sense that it's an opportunity for you to learn. What is it about me? What beliefs do I have that's making me see the world this way? And the universe says, okay, you're projecting this energy. I'm going to give you more reason to feel that way. And so therefore gives it to you.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
You see how it works.
I love that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just want to... carry on. Yeah, no, carry on.
I was going to say, earlier, just before we started the show, you touched on the subject of narcissism. And I have in the past, I've actually dated somebody who was a narcissistic character. And when I dated that person, I began to see signs in him, and I thought, oh, this is weird. It was the first time I'd ever actually gone to Google and researched characteristics of a person. I thought, there's something not right here.
Wow.
You know?
Yes.
And the first time I didn't find anything, I thought, no, that's a bit odd. The second time, I thought, right, this person actually displaying all the signs of narcissism. Now, I have to ask myself at that time, why did I attract that kind of person? What is it about my energy that attracted that type of person, you see? And so when I addressed me, and I learned about me, and I was basically able to upgrade my frequency, my vibration, he had to leave my life. You see?
Not stay in that environment.
Yeah, he can't stay in that environment, you know, because your beliefs about yourself have to be expressed. It has to be your whatever you're believing about yourself has to be in alignment. You see? So he had to leave my life.
Wow. So you don't even have to say, you know, we need to talk, you know, we need to break up.
No, no one has the right to change anyone. We don't have the right. Everyone has the right to live their life how they choose. Everyone has their lessons that they have to learn. And really, that's what I believe this experience is about. It's about us becoming all that God has intended us to be. And, you know, on this journey where it's an unveiling. As we go along and we learn lessons. And I believe that is the questions that drive us. You know, it's the questions that give rise to the answers that upgrade us to that better version of ourselves.
And I love the first 5 letters of questions. Quest. So we're on a quest, as you say, on a journey. Questions. Take us on that journey.
Yes.
Valerie, you're a spiritual person. You're a Christian. I'm a spiritual person. How important is spiritual growth and having some sort of spiritual practice for people in a relationship, you know, or embarking or looking to go into a relationship? How important is it to have some form of spirituality?
It's, you know, I am a Christian, but when I say that I'm a spiritual person, every single person on this planet is a spiritual person, whether they acknowledge it or not. Yes, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. That's what we are. And it's important because when you can actually sit quietly with yourself, that's when there's a space that you create apart from the thoughts that are in your head. There's a separate space where the answers come. And so every morning, I always give the first hour to my spirit, because I want to have that inner conversation. Before I go to bed, I'll put the questions out there, and I'll give an answer in the morning. And in that deeper knowing of who you are, that you then go out into the world. So I think that people need to actually stop being as busy as they are, and actually take time to be still. There's silence is golden. It's said that for a reason. And so I always say, get into a good meditative practice. There's loads of YouTube videos now that will, make it a simple process. And I think that everyone needs to embrace that. It's becoming more and more popular. There's the talk with mindfulness. That conversation's going on, because it's essential. It's who we are. We have a body. We have a mind. We are not our body, and we are not our mind.
No.
And we have to honour that.
Absolutely. Wow. What I'd like to do before I ask you the last few questions is, Valerie, I can imagine people are listening and thinking, where can I find this lady? How can I get hold of her book? How can I, listen to her podcast? And can you just share how people can get hold of you?
So first of all, I would say to anyone listening, have a look at the video at thesecretvibe.com. That again was given to me as a download. It was channeled through me about the spiritual experience that I had, and I quickly wrote down what I saw, the imagery, and every woman that's seen that said, Valerie, God resonated with me so much. And when you listen to that video, it's very much kind of explains the law of sexual polarity. It explains why eggs shouldn't chase sperm, which as women do when they're calling the man persistently, like asking where have you been, sending most of the texts and all of that sort of thing. So I would say first go to thesecretvibe.com. If you want to know just a bit more about me, my website is www.valeriecampbell.com. And my radio show, if you just put into Google the bishani.com, B for Barry, S for sugar, then HANI.com, and The Secret Vibe, then my radio show will come up, and I do that every single week.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and funny enough,
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and in February, I've been speaking a lot on law of sexual polarity. People seem to be fascinated with it, and in February alone, I actually had 2.1 million streams, just on, primarily talking on that subject. So, if you have a look at the last 4 shows, and that detail, Yeah,
I was going to say it's a very good, you give so much good information. People should definitely go over to your radio show and listen. But that's amazing, isn't it? My goodness. It just shows, doesn't it? It shows that this is such a topic that people need, support with, need help with.
Yeah, it's evergreen, isn't it? Dating and tips, Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I've got a few more questions that I'd like to ask you. Can you tell us how... I'm not sure if I asked this already, because I'm just getting to it. Tell us how emotions or bad moods can mess up a relationship, and how to manage one's emotions in a relationship.
How it can mess up?
Yeah, if someone's in a bad mood, or easily... when someone has to walk around on eggshells because it's like, oh my God, I don't want to upset this individual.
Yeah, Well, first of all, it's funny because, when I was going out with, this narcissistic guy many years ago, that was actually one of the red flags for me. The fact I felt like I was walking around on eggshells was the sign for me, hold on, there's something I need to check here, what is it about me that's I need to get out of this, because this is not working for me. This is not how I want to feel. But just understanding that your emotions, energy in motion, is a language. Your feelings are a language. And it doesn't matter your color, your creed, your height, wherever you are in the world, whether you're living under a rock, everyone has feelings, and like I said, your feelings are based on what you're thinking about. So when you send out those feelings, the universe hears that as a language and says, your wish is my command. I'm going to give you more reason to feel that particular way. So when you think about that within the context of a relationship, it's really important that you focus on the good aspects of your partner, because when you focus on the good aspects of that person, it makes you feel good inside. You're feeling grateful, so you're extending an energy of gratitude, and the universe says, your wish is my command. I'm going to give you more reason to feel that way, you see. But when you're in a mode of complaining, what does the universe do?
More things to complain about.
More things to complain about. So, it's just the way that you use the language. So you might say, for example, you want your partner to give you flowers. You wouldn't complain and say, oh, you never bring me flowers. Feel that energy. You never bring flowers. It feels low. You can feel it's at a low frequency. Whereas if you said, I feel so fantastic. If you brought me flowers, I love flowers. I love the way that they... Because now you're stating what you want. And as opposed to complaining. And I always say to somebody that you can always reset yourself, just ask yourself, what do I want? Because the moment that you ask yourself, what do I want? You're now focusing on yourself positively, and therefore you're now sending out a positive vibration, as opposed to focusing on what you don't want. Because whether you focus on what you don't want or what you do want, you're going to attract.
For sure. That's the key word, yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So you just need to focus on what you want so that you can actually then draw that into your world.
Love that. Valerie, you've given us so many insights, so many gems. What I'd like to ask you, what else, is there anything else that I haven't asked today that you would like to share with the listening audience about good relationship practice? Go on.
You've asked me so much. What I'd like to add is... when you're out dating, date with the intention that this is not the one. And I say that because we tend to kind of latch onto somebody and say, okay, I'm in love with this person. This person has everything that I need. But remember, individuals were carriers, were vessels. So that's why I always say to women, focus on how you want to feel in a relationship, as opposed to, I want a man who's tall and good looking with green eyes. Because when you dig deeper, well, why do you want that? Because I want to feel this particular way. It always comes back to the feeling. So let's just get across and say, this is how you want to feel in a relationship. So when you're out dating, recognize the people that you're dating as the carrier of what you've asked for. And so don't get caught up in being attached to that one person. Don't be afraid to let go of that person, because if you stay in the feeling of what you want, you will attract somebody who's going to have those feelings that you've asked for. Because a lot of women say, oh, I'll never find somebody that was like that other person, and it's simply not true. So when you're actually dating, you're dating for data.
Yes, collecting data, not for mating.
Yeah, you want to know if this person is going to match, is a match to how you want to feel, and in what way they're a match to how you want to feel. So I mean, there's so much things that you can say, when it comes to dating, and that's why I've developed my formula. As I said, it's vision, intention, belief, and expectation. And the V is really about helping a woman to find her voice so that she really is not blind to who she is, and she has a correct vision of who she is. Even those things that she has in the dark, it's about actually bringing it out to the fore, because those things that she has in the dark carry feelings with it, and if she doesn't explore, that's what she's going to attract. So really kind of the V is really about helping a woman to connect with herself, and then from that place you can now authentically set the I, which is in the formula, which is the intention. How do you want to feel in the relationship? And understanding that the universe doesn't understand don't, not, and no. So if I said to you, don't think of a pink elephant, what do you think?
Pink elephant arrives.
Yeah, you know, it's like Google. You don't put, don't want to see a red car. You know, so focus on how you want to feel. And then the B is about dealing with your limiting beliefs. You know, which ones are serving you, take them out. Which ones will serve you, put them in. Because beliefs are neutral. It's nothing more than a thought that you've said yes to. So say yes to ones that are serving you. And then the E is expectation. How do you sit in that place and allow the good to come to you? So I take women through that journey, and through that process, they're then able to attract men that will treat them in a high quality way, and that's a match to how they want to feel, in line with the law of attraction and the law of sexual polarity. So yeah, I think that's what I'd like to say. I know that time's drawing. There's a lot on this show.
Yeah, we're going to have to get you back on, Valerie, for sure, and I hope you will come back.
Absolutely.
I just want to ask you. So, if someone's sitting at home listening to this conversation, and they may be struggling in their relationship. I know you've kind of answered so much, but I just wonder if you could just point directly at this: struggling in their relationship, or struggling to meet someone that's appropriate for them. What advice would you give that person? What would you add to what the extensive wisdom you've already given us?
If they're struggling, well, first of all, I'd like to know in what way are they struggling? What are they finding frustrating?
Say they're finding that they're just, their values are not being met, or they're finding, they just can't get along. You hear so much about struggle love. And, why, is there anything you can add, kind of add to why that might be? Or if someone is just struggling to meet the right person, is there anything else you can add from what you've said, which is vast?
Yeah, I suppose it depends on every person's particular situation, because it could be a person that's not going out there enough. You're not going to expect, the person to just knock on your front door.
Knock.
Yeah, so you see, it depends on the situation. It could be that, or it could be that they're wavering on their values. That they're not steadfast on what those are. You see, so they're attracting the like of that. You see, so it depends on the circumstance.
But I suppose really the answer to that is check out your website, your radio station, and all those sort of answers will be there. You've done a lot on this,
Yes.
What about coaching? What about one-to-one coaching with people?
Yes, I do one-to-one coaching, group coaching. I'm going to be starting a new one in the next 4 weeks. So if anyone's interested in that, again, they DM me on Instagram, secretvibe.k, or they can actually just contact me via the website, which is valeriecampbell.com/contact.
Wow. Valerie, this has been amazing. I love this topic. I love the way you've, given us the answers you've given. And definitely, as we just said, want you to come back on again, and you've agreed. So I'm sure people definitely would like to hear more from you. And thank you so much for being a guest on the show.